Hi sophomores, I'm Ms. LeClaire. I'm going to talk to you today about systems of linear inequalities. When you get the MCAS, you're going to have graphs like this, which makes it hard. I'm going to suggest to you to use your scrap paper. I have updated the graph paper and added the graph to my scrap paper. Now we're going to solve. When we're solving linear inequalities, this is a system, you're always going to make sure that it is in y equals mx plus b, which both of these are. Another suggestion I have is bringing highlighters. That will help you highlight diagrams, and in this case it's going to help me with my shading. I color coordinated. The first inequality is blue, the second inequality is yellow. We always start at our y-intercept, which is +3. This is my y-axis. I'm going to make a point at +3. My slope is 1/2. If it's positive, we go up, and we always go to the right. So from +3, I go up 1/2. Up 1/2, continuing in that pattern. With inequalities, you want to make sure that you look at the symbol. This symbol is saying greater than or equal to. If it is greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, we use a solid line. I tell my students if there's extra ink, we fill in the holes. So I'm going to connect the dots. Hopefully you connect better than me. For shading, I'm going to look at the symbol. I want all the y's that are greater than or equal to. I am going to look at my y-axis. On this part of the y-axis, the y's are getting bigger or greater than. That falls above the inequality line, so I'm going to shade above the greater than. Second inequality, again, it's in y equals mx plus b. I'm going to start at +5 this time, make a point, and my slope, I don't see anything, so it is an invisible -1. I'm going to fill in the invisible 1. With slope, we want to make it look like a fraction, so I put it over 1. I'm going to go down this time because it is negative and still to the right. So down 1 to the right 1, down 1 to the right 1, down 1 to the right 1, down 1 to the right 1. Again, I'm going back to look at the inequality symbol. It's greater than or equal to again, which means I'm going to use a solid line. This is where you might want to use another scrap piece of paper because it gets kind of confusing. There's two lines. I am going to look for all the y's again that are greater than or equal to, which is above. I'm going to use my scrap paper and my other color, and I'm going to shade above that inequality line. Now I used blue and yellow because blue and yellow makes green, and where I have my green is my solution set for my inequality. I can now go back to the computer and select my solution. So with my scrap paper, I go back, and as I can see, my solution set is A. I want to wish all the sophomores the best of luck. You guys have it. Just take your time and do your best.
Good morning, everyone. Excited for the MCAS. So one of the things maybe you should review it is how to use the Pythagorean theorem in right triangles. And the other two things that are important are the special triangles and SOHCAHTOA. So in special triangles, there's two triangles, 30, 60, 90, and 45, 45, 90. So this is an isosceles right triangle, and the 30, 60, 90, don't forget the side in front of 30 degrees is half of the hypotenuse. Ready for the SOHCAHTOA? All right. So these are the 6 trigonometric functions. On MCAS, you'll have up to here sine, cosine, and tangent. So remember, sine equals opposite divided by hypotenuse. Cosine is adjacent divided by hypotenuse. And tangent equals the opposite side to the angle divided by the adjacent side. Thank you.
Sophomores, good luck on the MCAS. One strategy, if you don't know what to do, is to Look at the problem and eliminate answers that don't make logical sense. Maybe an answer is really large or really small, and then guess between the remaining answers.
How you doing, everybody? Thanks for joining me. I'm Mr. Faraday. Good luck to everybody taking the MCAS test. Just a couple of tips. I got a question up here that we'll go over, but I think the number one thing for me, anytime before I have a big test or anything like that, is to make sure that I get a really good night's sleep the night before. Try to get 8+ hours of sleep. All right, you really want your brain working coming in here for the MCAS test to the best of your ability. So we got a problem up here right now with an equation of y equals -1/2 x plus 5. And they're asking us to find a perpendicular line that goes through point -4, 3. So I always like to say in a lot of these multiple choice questions, I like to call them bonehead answers. I think there's always a couple answers that you might be able to eliminate. So I think the key word here that we're looking at is this perpendicular. And we know that perpendicular slopes have opposite reciprocal slopes. So our slope in this problem, if we're looking at y equals mx plus b in that form, if we look at the m, we have -1/2. So if we look at our options down here, all right, we have A and B have a slope of 2, and C and D have a slope of -2. So if it's got to be the opposite reciprocal or the opposite inverse of -1/2, all right, the opposite would have to be positive. So right away I can eliminate questions C and D. So that really just leaves us now, all right, with two choices, all right, just A and B. And just by eliminating C and D, now I have a 50% chance of getting this problem right. All right, so if I move forward here, there's a few different ways we can go about doing this problem. But if I plug in -4 for my x value and 3 for my y value, all right, so I have 3 for my y, all right, I'm going to keep my +2 in for my slope now for a perpendicular line. I'm going to put in -4 for my x, and I'm going to solve for my b. 2 times -4 we know is -8. I have 3 over here. All right, and if I add 8 to both sides, I know 3 plus 8 is 11, so my b is going to be 11. So if I look at answer B, I have an 11, all right, from my y-intercept, which is my b. And that's our answer. Good luck during the MCAS this year.
Hi, my name is Miss Sanderson. I wanted to wish you best of luck on the Math MCAS this year. I don't have any sophomores, but maybe I'll have some of you in pre-calc next year. And I wanted to give you this tip. If you're ever doing a question where you have to solve for x and you don't know how, you can take the answers, plug them in to the original equation, and if it's actually equal, you found your answer.
Good morning, Mustangs. It is time for your MCAS Did You Know moment. Did you know that you are going to do very well on MCAS because you are ready, you have done your training, you have studied, you have gotten really focused, you're locked in. So you're going to be all right, you're going to take care of business, and I'll be walking around making sure everyone's doing their job, locked in. But I have a lot of faith in all of you, and I know this is going to be a win from the beginning. Good luck, Mustangs.
Hey sophomores, good luck on your Math MCAS. Do the best you can. Remember, answer all the questions. Don't leave anything blank because you can't get it right if you leave it blank. I got confidence in you. Work hard to the end, and we'll see you afterward.
Hey sophomore class, this is Mr. McLaughlin wishing you the best of luck on your Math MCAS. You got this.
Hi sophomores, want to wish you lots of luck on your MCAS. We have a math strategy for you. I want to remind you how to simplify your radicals so that you can make your problems easier. When you have a radical, you can do it 2 ways. One way is to break it down by its factors. I find that a little tricky. So at the top you have the square root of 48. You can think to yourself, what are 2 numbers that multiply to 48? I said 6 and 8. And then you can do that over and over and over again until you get to the prime factors. And then every group of 2 you take out, and that becomes one of the numbers on the outside. I think it's a little bit easier if you think about your perfect squares. So your perfect squares all the way up to 12 are 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, all the way through. If you can think instead, is there a perfect square in this number? The square root of 48 is the same as saying 16 times 3. And we know the square root of 16 is just 4. So instead of doing all of this work, you can just say 4 and then leave the square root of 3. So the square root of 48 we can rewrite as just 4 square roots of 3, and that's so much easier to deal with. Good luck, everyone.
Trying to solve an equation, trying to write an equation. If you're trying to write an equation from a table, here's some quick, easy steps. Step 1, we know m is the slope. Slope is the change of y and the change of x. So how does it change? Well, let's take a look. X changes each time by 2. Y changes each time by 1. That means our slope, if we do change of y over change of x, we've got negative 1 over 2x. Lastly, we're looking for an intercept. How do I find the intercept? Intercept is when x equals 0. Well, I'm going to have to work backwards. If I'm going plus 2 each time, working backwards is minus 2. If I'm going minus 1 each time, working backwards is plus 1. My intercept is 4, therefore my equation y equals negative 1/2 x plus 4. Good luck.
Hi, my name is Mr. McCready. I teach Algebra 2 for the vocational students at the high school. Most of you guys that are here in this right now are probably in 10th grade, so you actually might have me next year, especially if you're a vocational student. Today I was going to go through one example real quick. It's an example basically of a graph shown, and they ask you some questions on it. So basically there's 3 parts to it. It's not multiple choice, unfortunately, but there's 3 parts to it. I'll talk about it real quick, just so you get some info basically on how you go about solving on the MCAS. So part A of this problem, of this graph problem they gave here, they gave us a U-shaped graph actually to start, which is a quadratic function. So I don't know if that question specifically is going to pop up, but just so we know, it's a U-shaped graph. And it asks us, based on the graph, what is the value of f of 4? Students all the time look at this, just to kind of zoom it in case you can't see it well, get very confused when they see this. And they go, okay, well, what is this f? What is this for? What does that mean? This basically is just a specific example of something, or basically of what f of x is. And essentially what this is this whole thing, f of x, is just another way of saying y, or the output. The number that's inside, that is your input. So it's basically saying, if you were to input this 4, right, and it goes into some equation thing, basically what pops out is what this is in general. So basically what it's saying is, on the graph, if we plug in 4, that's your input, what is your output going to be? And that's basically a question mark, because we don't know what it is yet. So essentially, if we go to 4, for the input, that is going to be your x variable, because your input variable is your x and your output's your y. So if we go to our x variable, which is this axis right here, and we go here, and then we find where the graph meets it, which happens to be at this point right here, then we have our output, because we have 4 for our x and 2 for your y, because it goes up 2. So this is your answer for part A. Basically the y is equal to 2, because it's asking for your output, and that would be your output. Let's look at one more for time. We'll just look at part B. This is another common question that I get a lot, even in Algebra 2, which is if the value of f of 4 plus k is negative 5, what's the value of k? Basically, although it looks kind of complicated, this is basically kind of like an algebra question here. Basically what it's saying is, again, f of 4 is another way of saying y. It's saying if the output, the value of f of 4 plus k is negative 5. So it's essentially saying, I'll jump over here, f of 4 plus k, if that is equal to negative 5, it's saying what is the value of k. So what we'd want to do is use what we found for part A. So we found that this f of 4 is equal to 2, because we found that the y is the same thing as 2. So if I were to plug that in, replacing this with the 2 that we got, we add k to it, we solve for negative 5. Then we just try to solve for k, or basically get that by itself. And so k has this little friend of 2 right here, but it wants to be alone now, so it's going to kick it out. Basically, whenever you want to cancel or kick something out to the other side of the equation, you do its opposite. So the opposite of this positive 2 here would be minusing 2. And that will help us cancel or remove that 2 there, so that k is now all by itself, giving us an answer of negative 5 minus 2, or, a lot of people like this, negative 5 plus negative 2. You're always allowed to rewrite it like that. A negative, so if I owed $5 and I owed 2 more, I would owe a total of $7, and that would help you get your K, or the missing variable that you got there.
So good luck on the MCAS. Just a quick reminder about probability questions. You'll see 1 or 2. So just remember, probability starts off as a fraction. The number of times the event occurs over the total sample size. So for example, if you have 5 marbles and 3 of them are red, the chance you get a red marble is 3 out of 5, 3 red marbles out of 5 total. But then sometimes probability can be written as a decimal. So if you divide the numerator and denominator, it's 0.6, or the decimal can be converted to a percent. And if you multiply 0.6 times 100, it becomes 60%. You'll do great, but I just wanted to give you this quick little reminder about probability. It definitely will pop up.
Hello, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Mr. Lakasha, and I teach some of you in honors geometry. Some of you may not know me though, because I'm new. It's okay. I want to wish you good luck on your math MCAS. You're all going to do great. And something I think that's going to help you is the Pythagorean theorem. So a little bit of review of that. The Pythagorean theorem is for right triangles, so you'd use it a lot in any geometry question on the MCAS. C squared equals a squared plus b squared. And if you have a right triangle, this is our right angle here. The side opposite the right angle is our hypotenuse, and that's always going to be C. And then the other 2 sides, you can say A and B. So what's true about all right triangles is that this squared plus this squared will equal this one squared. So for an example with numbers, if this is 3 and this is 4, and we want to know what this one is, we can plug it into our formula. C squared equals 3 squared plus 4 squared. So C squared equals 9 plus 16. So C squared equals 25. And then once we have this, we can take the square root of both sides and get C equals 5, which means our long side, or our hypotenuse here, is 5. I hope that's helpful. Good luck.
Good luck to all the sophomores with your MCAS test. Make sure you focus. Y'all put all your effort into it, and do not try. Try. It doesn't matter if you don't know nothing, if you don't even know the answer, try. Give it your best, give it your all, and you will succeed and make it very far. Good luck. Peace.
Hi sophomores, I'm Miss Hogan. I just want to wish you all very good luck on the MCAS that's coming up for math. And I want to remind you about what mean, median, and mode are. So when you're given a data set, just a reminder that the mean is the average, right? So you're going to take the sum of those numbers divided by the amount of numbers you have. That's going to be what the mean is. The median is going to be the middle number. So you can kind of line them up in ascending order and cross them out to find out which number is in the middle. That's going to be the median. And then the mode is going to be the number that happens the most, that appears the most, right? So in this example, we have a bunch of 3s, so the 3 would be the mode. So again, good luck on MCAS.
Hi 10th graders, Ms. Murphy. Good luck on your MCAS. Take a deep breath, use your resources like your calculator and your reference sheet, and you're gonna do great. See you later.
Hi sophomore class. I just want to wish you the best of luck with the math MCAS. Take your time, don't rush, and just do a great job because we all know you can. Have a good one. All right, go Mustangs.
All right, sophomores, you got this. This is your second time around. You can do this. Math seems to be a little bit more challenging, but with all of the strategies that you've learned, you just need to make sure that you take your time, reread your answers, reread again your answers, and again, take your time because there is no rush. You have the whole entire day. You can do this. You're confident, you're smart, and you know your math skills. Go for it.